are people that have been here for a long time. My father said they lived like hand in hand with the natural world and respected it like a relative.
I've been here my whole life. Amongst our own, we would call it God's country, so it means a lot to us.
Before, there was probably like half a dozen boats out here I would see as a kid. Now they're everywhere.
What used to be a quiet place has changed. It does affect our way of living. And I don't know what it must be like for them under the water. It travels a long ways.
I am Franklin Sampson from the Sarla First Nation. I was pretty young. I was just a kid yet, probably like 9 when I first started coming out. My grandpa, my dad, my uncle. And that's something that I was taught as a kid. You know, my grandpa would be like, sit down and be quiet. Teach you how to be quiet, so I'm gonna leave you here. I'll come back for you in a little bit. You're gonna tell me what's around you. And I'm gonna have to sit there and be quiet. And I was noisy, nothing would come around. But when I'd sit there and be real quiet, birds would come right up to me. Like the bunny rabbit would hop by and look at me. And if you know you're out here blasting music and stuff, and what's gonna come around?
I'm Will Morris, Asachumlash, Slasan Husainich, and I'm the Director for Stewardship for Sarla First Nation. Both my grandparents from Husainich, my great-grandparents as well. That's connected us to this area for generations. We chose to study noise pollution in the area because of our connection to our relatives of the deep, Kwalfalamachan, the orcas, the killer whales. That's their home. And if we don't know what's happening underwater, we don't know how to help.
When our grandmothers are on the water, they knew how to call the whales because they spoke to them in the language. When they were going on a big journey, they called them up and they traveled together with them. When they get to the other side and they thank them and then give them some fish, we'll call you again when we need you. That's the connection they had with the natural world. It goes back to a story of a long time ago when the sisters were down the beach and the whales came by and they admired the whales. The one of the sisters was down the beach and this young man came ashore. And then they kept seeing each other and he said, I want you to come to my home with me. You have to come into the water. And she came into the water and then he turned into a whale, a killer whale. We took her down underneath and showed them where they live. And they took off his whale outfit and he pounded it against the wall like that. And there was other ones. He said, these are our canoes. He called their body their canoes. That's how they got the connection to the whale family. When colonizers came around here, they didn't understand that. They thought it was evil. And so they tried to make our people forget it. The whole idea of the colonizers coming and setting down regulations and laws and things without talking to us. And we're in a new kind of a struggle to take us away from being Saanich. And the world has been changing ever since.
There's been significant change to the entire inlet. That's been pretty devastating in a lot of ways. We applied for and were successful in getting funds to study underwater noise under Transport Canada's Quiet Vessel Initiative.
My name is Peter Evans. I'm an anthropologist and one of the founders of Tromark, and I've worked with Franklin and Sartlip. This project was to understand the accumulation of noise from human sources in a very sensitive ecosystem like the Saanich Inlet. Sound and noise doesn't get a lot of attention from society. And a lot of us, we don't think about what the world used to sound like, how that's changed how we relate to animals and to one another, and also to landscapes.
We only recently have we actually gotten our own community vessels. So the guardians like Franklin and some of our team are trained to operate these, and they're a little more our eyes and ears out in the territory. Pretty disappointing in what we've seen and what we've heard.
From like the first time I put the headphones on, that was a real eye-opener to noise. Something that's around like all the time. You wouldn't even know until you asked to do 5 minutes of quietness with the headphones on, and there is no quietness.
When I was a kid, it was quiet. And we could hear voices across from the bay, carrying across the water. Sometimes you could hear a fish jump from the house. You could hear it splash.
Sounds like fire crackling.
To the Saanich, how you related through sound to animals was part of your ethical relationship to them. So we wanted to think about all that. We wanted to look at all the sources of sound and see how those things were being transformed in relationship to the environment.
It's all the way up. It's about 30 feet.
I'm not really aware of other projects like this, just a greater awareness of what the world really sounds like.
All the places that we've been. We went up to right in the bay there. All the noise is like probably one thing, like driving fish away. Who'd want to put up with that? On the other part of the inlet, you got blasting going on. Dump trucks and excavators and tugboats leaving.
And then they started blasting. The blue grouse couldn't hatch their eggs anymore because it affected their eggs, and so they left.
The whole inlet is definitely increased in noise. You get everything from the loud noises of a pleasure boat motor. BC Ferries is here.
You wouldn't think about it, but that's a consistent noise. That's really loud above water and below water. It's super loud.
In order to get a fulsome picture of some of the struggles, we needed to look at all aspects of what's happening in our Saanich Inlet. Everything that I try and move forward stems from the teachings from my parents and my grandparents. To leave it better than you found it. But it is such a hard topic, because we're not guaranteed any funds, has really impacted our ability to provide for our community members. We'd like more opportunities to sit and have open dialogue around what's happening in our territory.
And we've been working on it for the last 50 years now, and it's coming along. We have a lot of young speakers that are speaking now. Hopefully they'll be able to be the ones that could speak to the whales again. So we don't lose that worldview, that connection to the natural world is really who we are as a people.
We need to work on rehabilitating these places to leave it better than we found it. I think it's a really good way to lead our lives.
You know, when our people are on the canoe, they thank the water. They spoke to it like it understood us. We had to be really quiet how we row and how our oars are in the water. And because he says any noise you're going to make is going to be bouncing off the bottom. You're going to scare the fish away. We don't make noise without here. It's not our home. We have to respect it. This is the home of our relatives.